Hello again, welcome to STEMCom at the College of DuPage, and the title of this lecture is What is Gerrymandering? Part 3, a deeper dive. Here are some tactics that people use to gerrymander, and these are implemented often in software. Cracking involves spreading voters of a particular type among many districts in order to deny them a sufficiently large voting block in any particular district. Packing is concentrating many voters of one type into a single district to reduce their influence in other districts. Hijacking redraws two districts in such a way to force two incumbents to run against each other in one district, ensuring one of them will be eliminated. And kidnapping involves moving an incumbent's home address into another district, making it more difficult for them to get re-elected. These tactics are typically combined in some form, creating a few forfeit seats for packed voters of one type in order to secure more seats and greater representation for voters of another type. For the most part, courts have refused to get involved, but they have observed that there is no standard for which to judge it, and some say the standard could not exist. And another judge said he wished a clear and precise standard could exist. The case that they were thinking about here in Pennsylvania involved a red swing from a 9-9 blue tie with red to a 13-5 red example. Other cases in Maryland recently involved a reliably Republican district moved 700,000 voters, produced a Democratic district, and the defeat of a Republican incumbent. And in Wisconsin, the General Assembly was 2/3 Republican members and 1/3 Democrat, even though the aggregate votes were roughly 50-50 for the Republicans and Democrats. Now, some of the attorneys have proposed that a good way to think about this is what's called an efficiency gap. The efficiency gap considers the number of wasted votes cast by each party. So, for example, in a 500 vote election in which Party A wastes 70 votes and Party B wastes 180, the efficiency gap would be 180 minus 70 divided by 500, or 22% in favor of Party A. The plaintiff suggested that an efficiency gap of 7% or more is considered legally significant. And this is not just then. Since March 2021, these are three headlines that I grabbed just this morning. It does have to do with communities of color. Here's one from Long Island, and here's one from Texas. And it's much more widespread. Here's a map showing that it is really spread across the entire United States, and I would argue, in fact, across the entire world. Some have proposed measures of geometrical compactness. And this circle is very compact, and this is not compact. And I'll show you the equation in a moment. This is called the Paulsby-Popper test, and it's a mathematical measure of the shape, and it measures the degree of gerrymandering. And this was developed by some attorneys, but the index is the PP index of a district is 4 pi, the area of the district divided by the perimeter of the district squared. And this is 1 if it's a circle, and this little thing that looks like a toilet brush has a measure of 0.08. This is better than this. But these two can be smurfed, and that gives rise to research currently happening at the University of Illinois. And Dr. Cho, a professor of political science, statistics, mathematics, Asian American studies, and law, wow, she is everything, at University of Illinois at Champaign-Urbana, and she is a fellow at the National Center for Supercomputing Applications, uses their computer to analyze vectorial maps For example, she consulted at an Ohio case recently, and she did an analysis based on more than 3 million simulations of possible maps for Ohio. Now, she creates millions of these map simulations using a Markov chain simulation algorithm that produces an array of map scenarios and can be compared to the current map. And so she advocates using this type of analysis to help judges assess whether partisan considerations are excessive and thus unconstitutional. To summarize for now, there's lots of societal wrongs to right and lots of STEM to help get it done. Maybe next time we'll talk about the Electoral College. Take care.